Now, President William Ruto is receiving hits from both corners as the ODM party senior leaders, including Honorable Osoti, who now identifies as the only member of the ODM party deputy leaders who is resonating with the people, saying his colleagues have actually deserted the people. And the governor of Siaya County, a very senior politician in the country, Honorable James Orango from the ODM side. From the United Opposition front, also Rigathi Gachagua in a church in Gatundu also stormed Ruto staff, reminding the people in Gatundu, of course, of the 2008 and 2007 post-election violence and centering the fault of President William Ruto in that particular violence scheme to be around the Kiamba staff. While this is happening, Honorable Kalonzo Musyoka, who is a hopeful of the 2027 presidential seat and is also a member of the United Opposition, is doing his tour abroad, and he also made speeches. Now, in this episode of the People's Mirror, we want to bring for you a conglomerate of those ideas, if you could call it a conglomerate of those ideas combined, where we will start with Osoti and Orango. What did they say concerning the position of the party in the UDA-ODM pact? And other than that, also we will bring to you what is Kalonzo saying abroad and what is Rigathi Gachagua saying in Kiambu, because all these attacks are aimed at one person, the ruling government. Now, without wasting much time, let's just go to the speeches that were made by Honorable Orango.
Lakini ni maneno muhimu. Jambo la kwanza, sisi sote na marafiki wengine tuando nayo hapa, lakini sasa sisi sote kuvunja chama cha ODM. Wangapi Busia wanasema hatuvunji chama cha ODM? Na tunasema pia chama cha ODM, chama cha Baba Raila Amolo Odinga, hakuna mtu atauza chama cha ODM. Hakuna mtu atauza chama cha ODM. Na hakuna mtu anaweza kwamba chochote ambayo chama cha ODM itafanya itatoka hapa kwa wananchi. Lazima wasikie sauti ya wananchi. chama cha ODM haiwezi kuingia kwa UDA. Kamwe, 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 kamwe. Wangapi Busia wamesema hawatawe? Hawatawe. 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 Na mimi nataka niseme hapa Busia, katibu mkuu wa chama cha ODM ambao waliwachiliwa na baba ni Edwin Sifuna. Ni Edwin Sifuna. Jambo langu la mwisho, nataka mnisikie. Jambo langu la mwisho, ODM ndio inaweza kutengeza serikali. ODM ndio inaweza kutengeza serikali. Hakuna mtu atatulazimisha kuingia serikali ambayo hatukubaliani nayo. ODM ndio lazima itengeze serikali, na ODM lazima iwe na presidential candidate. Wangapi wamekubali tuwe na president? La mwisho kabisa, tunatoa onyo wale ambao wanafanya biashara na chama cha ODM, wakifika hapa Busia wasiingie hapa Busia, wasiingie hapa Busia. Chama cha ODM na wale ambao wataleta mageuzi katika Kenya ni hawa viongozi mwaona hapa: Bwana Osoti, Bwana Sifuna, Babu Owino, Karoli Omondi, Kano Hamisi, Kalasinga, Kimuli. Tuko wengi sana. Busia oye! Busia oye! Asante sana.
So Oringo, who might have been speaking while he was already very tired, seems to sound tired, and this just confirms that in each camp, of course, both ODM A and ODM B, they all have their elder, the leader that leads them, who has seen far, and even these young Turks then could offer good leadership if they have the insight of a leader like Orango, who is old and have seen far when it comes to politics and the legal space in Kenya. So he talks about haki, saying that they are not looking for opportunities or taking other seats. The ones that they have been given, it's okay, but the one thing that they want ni haki. You remember just around a week ago, Orango surfaced in church in Kawangware with the 10-point agenda written in his hand, and he was reading to the people, trying to explain what was really agreed. Now in this part of his speech, he's saying that as long as compensation has not been made for the agencies that were killed in the 2024 and 2025 protest, whatever amount of positions that will come out of President William Ruto's camp will not sway them into this particular talk. And it disputes the ODM UDA talk. Now this is the sensitive part of Orengo's speech. You see, Orango is saying that there will be no UDA ODM talks. This just finalizes the negotiation even before it begins. You see, if the ODM party is going to walk into the table with President William Ruto's party in 2027 or in 2026 to negotiate, and some of them have just decided and have communicated prior that there are no talks or there is no merging together, then whatever will come out of that talks cannot be merging together. So there is a tactic that perhaps is in politics, and it's what Orengo could be using to dilute the essence of negotiation for the members of the ODM party themselves that might outlook the party dispute right now and try to go ahead and negotiate for themselves. And by saying that they will not join the UDA party, he is trying to dilute any intention of negotiation yenye inawezataka that the ODM party and the UDA party zikuje pamoja. Now that's a very good tactic that he's using. I don't know whether President President William Ruto's camp, which is the UDA party, are going to buy it? Are they going to get disinterested in having negotiations with any part of the ODM party? Juu Orengo sasa amesema that hata kama hiyo negotiation iko, the ODM party haiwezi join UDA. And of course he reinstates the position of Sifuna, which is also very timely and necessary. You remember the key figure who is being attacked primarily within this spectrum of rifts. He said when Sifuna, everyone is attacking him left, right and center, so he is in the verge of losing his SG positions. We detailed an episode in the morning and you saw that even a press statement was issued by the party leader of the ODM party, Honorable Oburu Odinga, to address what Sifuna said in media. So it's like he's a very sensitive holder of an office, and that is true because as much as the ODM party still lives, he is currently the Secretary General. Whatever he says can be taken as the voice of the party anytime. Now, Oburu Odinga was having a difficulty with this. He even pointed it out, saying Sifuna seems to have a difficulty between what he's saying and what the party is saying. Now, Orengo reinstating the position of Sifuna reinstates the voice of Sifuna, saying, okay, the party leader might say this and that, but the voice of the party is what Sifuna says. And so saying this in Busia is very, very good for Sifuna NDC chances if they call for an NDC, because he will receive that particular accolade, or he has even received that particular accolade from the people directly. Now these reinstatements could also be part of the agreement that they have said, okay, when you're walking to the ground, confirm the position of Sifuna, diffuse the UDA talks. Of course they are having and sharing those conversations. Junaona wakiitana kwa stage, all of them stand together, they go there, they support each other, then they go back to their seats to show comradeship and support and unity, which is very, very important for visuals and for the voters. Then finally, Orango incites violence against the other team. Now this is very interesting because Babu Wina has talked about Mandamano in another episode that we have detailed, and Orango says now if the other camps come, meet them with violence. So this is an ODM party that is not just divided. This is an ODM party that is most likely now going to attack each other, one camp after the other. And of course, as we said, it's now called the ODM ya ukweli versus ODM ya mifuko. Now this seems like Senator's revolt, and we want to take a look at what is Osoti saying in the midst of all this. Osoti is the deputy party leader of the ODM party amongst the three, and unlike Nasir and the other one called Simbarati, Osoti is the one identifying with this particular faction of the ODM party. The rest of the other two are actually with Oburu Odinga. So what is he saying, and why did he decide to leave his comrades to join this particular camp of the ODM party?
Nyinyi mnataka kwenda ndoa na UDA? Tunasema
Now for Osoti, the game is clear. There is two factions of ODM, as he calls them, the ODM ya ukweli and of course ODM ya mfuko. Now the ODM ya ukweli says it's this Linda Mwananchi group of theirs, and the ODM ya mfuko is the other one, of course, putting that to context. But more interestingly is this particular approach that now he feels that the ODM party is somehow being taken hostage by the ruling party. You see, mostly when it comes to speculations of how the ODM party is being attacked or whether it's on its own free fall right now, comes from the leaders themselves. Mostly you don't get this information from the public speculating it. It's the leaders saying it. And so with identifying that other cohort as one cohort that does their meetings under of course, a tent and gets goodies like t-shirts, of course, and branded keeps given to the candidates, and identifying them as individuals that are being supported by President William Ruto, puts it in the open for the ordinary citizen without the ordinary citizen having to speculate. And so that coming from the deputy party leader of the ODM party, it seems that there is a strong division within the party, and this talks that the ruling party has an hand in it. We were talking about it in the morning when we were talking about Okech Salah's yesterday's or a day before yesterday's event having President William Ruto's face as the central face in this particular t-shirts. Now put this to context. So what is in it for President William Ruto to support different factions of ODM rather than supporting the ODM party structures holistically? Of course, a weakened opposition or a weakened ODM party is a weakened negotiating front in the 2027 seats, and that gives whoever is in the ruling party an opportunity to decide how or who sits next to him and in what capacity in 2027 and beyond. But if this particular party was to be strong and get into that particular negotiating table, either now in 2027 watakuwa naingia hapo with so much confidence because they have the numbers. And this is not a myth. You've heard Wanga talking about it number without times, that the only strong negotiating front that they will have with the UDA party is if they mobilize their numbers in the ground. So whereas they are going to the ground to mobilize these particular numbers, they are not going through the ODM party channels. And a section of the ODM party now feels that, this is not the proper way. You guys have just been given money and use it. Now in Osoti's statement, which you need to take very seriously like we do because he's the deputy party leader of the ODM party, he qualifies Babu Owino and Sifuna primarily as people who are fit to front or face President William Ruto's camp in 2027, which is a very interesting selection. Of course, later on in the part of his speech, he qualifies everyone else including himself, but the fact that in the primary hierarchy started with those two speaks volumes. Now this seems like senators have revolted against the ruling party. And why am I picking senators out of everyone? The Senate is a very small, compact body, but it has immense power when it comes to making decisions on the ruling president. And so it has around 68 members total if you put everyone together. And so far you can count around 8 to 10 senators who have publicly defected in position with President William Ruto. We might not get to the number, but you have them there. You can count Sifuna, Osoti, and Onyonka on the separate end. On the other end, there's the Joe Newton, the likes, Methu, and the likes. The number is high. And so if this number, I was just doing a mental thought, goes to increase all the way up to 2027, then if a motion is instituted in the National Assembly, let's say because Azimio right now has revived its leadership, and then it goes to the Senate, and it gets to a point where the senators have publicly shown their disinterest with the president, or for example the number has grown higher, is there a possibility, just in all intent and thought, of actually making that particular decision to impeach the sitting president before 2027? Now these possibilities were the reason why the ODM party came into the pact with the UDA party, to avert any such thoughts. Now that the ODM party is divided, it also averts such thoughts, because when you are divided you cannot think as a front. But had the ODM party been united and the Azimio leadership been revived, survived, then even the one term of President William Ruto would have not been certain up to 2027. And primarily, President William Ruto knows this, and that might be the superseding idea why, if he is infiltrating, if at all, is infiltrating the way he's being accused by these particular senators, the activities of the party, then that is something that perhaps he might be having at the back of his mind. Now, away from that political comment, let us listen to what Onyonka said, because Onyonka is part of these senators that you have said have revolt. In another episode, we will detail, of course, what is coming out of the United States of America National Prayer Breakfast, where Honorable Kalonzo attended alongside Trump and the rest, and of course what also Rigathi said in Gatundu. But on this specific episode, because we expect you to stay with us humbly, ladies and gentlemen, so that you can also catch that episode. But on this one, let us close with the statements of Onyonka, who also we had put before the mirror early in the morning, and seems to be a very active member of the United, not the United Opposition, but this section of the opposition right now, being a member of the ODM party and also a very close friend to Honorable Okengo Matiang'i. So what did he say in Busia? Or better placed, what is he even doing in
the president? The people of Busia have said that for you to have any discussions with ODM, first you must pay for the people you killed. Number two, they are also saying that before you can discuss with ODM, tell them what you did to the Mumias and Nzoia Sugar. Your Excellency, they are also saying a government that cannot take care of its most vulnerable people has no business being in office. Harambee! Harambee! Mimi nimetoka Kisii. Wakisii wanasema hivi, translate yendote by'abantu ba Busia balendo omwana oli okolo kusifuna balendo n'omwana okolo kwa babu make sure bamurabu babere balendo obwami bwa Kenya Moba Sekoni ODM. Mama yangu, my mother is 87. She told me to tell Sifuna and Babu, you two gentlemen, don't sell the party called ODM. God bless you. Busia wewe, umesikia, si ndio? Tulia. Nataka ni
Now that's what Onyonka said, of course, translating what his 87-year-old mom actually sent him to say. And his 87-year-old mom was telling him to tell Babu and Sifuna not to auction or sell the ODM party to, of course, the ruling man and the ruling party. Now, this has just gotten to me that if not Onyonka himself, even as a senator, but his mom, who is 87 years old, feels like the future and the hope of the Kenyan people lies in Sifuna and Babu, then talks of resources and planning and political schemes should not make sense. The only thing that should make sense right now is that you and I, we go register as a voter if you have not yet, and then have that particular vote with you in 2027, carry your national ID, wake up early, and go cast that ballot wherever you are and cast it for change. Whatever changes for you, that particular ballot is a secret ballot, but have it. And even if you feel like you don't need to have a voter's ballot card, voter's card right now, or whether you feel like you don't need to vote in 2027. Now, here's the thing: that morning when people are waking up to go vote, you might change your mind. And if you do not have that card, then on that particular day, even if you change your mind, you will not have the ability to go vote. So it's better to have it, so that in case you change your mind on that particular day, then you will go to the ballot and make the choice. If an 87-year-old mother could send Onyonka, who is already also a senator and senior, and is having hopes in the young people, that is Honorable Sifuna and Honorable Babu, to hold on Raila's party, because Raila died when he was 80. He died when he was not even as old as that mother that is hoping that the party remains safe. Then this is a safety move that cuts across generation. And so for the Sifuna and Babu likes, their support might be across all generations. Now that's it, ladies and gentlemen. Let us finish this episode with that get your voters card, and let's be ready on that day in case you you change your mind. Keep it here until our next episode.